Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first. Then you act.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Spartan Nation Radio. We now bring in the man, the legend, the way of life, the iconic Michigan Prep High School football and basketball coach. He is the man that the rumor is, if you were to test Zion Williamson's blood, he would be the father. I'm just saying. He is a man who makes Chuck Norris blush. The great one. Coach Chuck Grenier. Coach, how are you?
Good, I'm great. I wish I was a chip off the old block. Zion was. That's going to be a wealthy son here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's us. You would love to have him as a son, where you can say, "How about giving old Pop a loan?"
Yeah, remember all those meals I gave you? Time to pop it back up here.
Coach, you join us each and every week. We go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're talking Spartan basketball. Headed to the Final Four. I don't think there's any bad. I don't think there's any ugly. So just take it away.
No, there's no possible ugly, bad, or anything. It's all great. I mean, they are playing great basketball. It's the sum of the parts type of attitude and play that the guys have out there. They are just connected at the waist. They just seem to know what's going on. They're battling. I thought that LSU game, the rebounding by both teams was probably about as vicious as I've ever seen in a basketball game. If the referees were going to be calling fouls, I think everybody would have fouled out before halftime. I mean, that was just an aggressive, nasty exposition of rebounding. And Cassius Winston is just Cassius Winston plays, and it just reminds me so much of like his rec ball. And he just, the announcers for the NCAA, Charles Barkley and them, were talking, not Barkley, but the other guys were talking about not real athletic. And I don't understand that idea that they think just because he doesn't have a 44 vertical, the kid plays between his ears. He's so good that way. So everything is good, nothing bad, and looking forward to this Saturday.
Coach, what do you think is the biggest attribute that Cassius Winston has? I think it's his brain.
He plays between his ears. I mean, he's just such a smart player. Now, take, for instance, Purdue. Purdue's out now, and Carson Edwards shoots him into games and kind of sometimes shoots him out of games. So he kind of takes over, and when he's on one of those rampages where he gets 42 points, what are the other guys doing? Cassius Winston tries to get his men on the floor to score buckets and play good defense. If they're not able to get shots off and score the buckets, then he does. That's just totally unselfish, great leadership. Now, he's going to get his shots in that, but he's going to make sure that he incorporates everybody on the team to do what the offense is supposed to be doing. So, that's what makes him such a great player. And I guess you can call that just, true athletics, because he's playing the game and he's getting everybody involved, and he plays between his ears. He plays ahead of the game. He plays in the future. He's just an outstanding. He's just at the top of the game right now.
You and I have talked about it for weeks, but we're looking awful smart. Xavier Tillman is the clear emerging star on this team. I had one NBA scout tell me after the Duke game, he just sent me a simple message that said, that young man just went to the bank against Zion Williamson. He's got everybody's attention now.
He's certainly not getting the ink that he should, with the attention that he should. He is rebounding. He's playing defense. He has such a subtle game that is out there. He's getting 19 points, 17 points, and 10 rebounds a game and playing excellent defense. What more would you want out of your starting center? I mean, he's just doing a great job, and he's just a sophomore. And from what has been said, He's really working on his jump shot. And what Kenny Goings gives to the team right now is that workhorse defensive player that can step out to the arc and shoot the three. And I am understanding I've heard a couple interviews on that Tillman is working on that three too. So coming back as a junior, I'm sure that he's going to be able to hit those three. I know he hit a couple in the tournament, but he's going to be able to hit those threes with the consistency that Goins does. He's just making a great future for himself.
The great coach Chuck Grenier, for those of you that don't know, when he was in the Army, he single-handedly defeated the Russians and ended the Cold War. He took on the Russian national team in basketball as one man, and that's where he got his nickname, the Round Mound of Rebound. He beat the Russians 100-3. Is it true that you named your son Zion Williamson because people told you that your game of basketball took them to the Zion?
That's right. It took me to the peak, the Zion. That's right.
You do realize now in Altoona, Iowa, and Stockbridge, Michigan, you are an icon.
Oh, I'm the face of all commercials in that area there. I sell more Tylenol than anybody else.
I hope that you're telling your wife, Becky, about this.
Yeah, she's heard it.
Coach, I want to talk about this team. I believe that they're going to cut down the nets and be the national champions. I sincerely do. I did not think they would beat Duke. I was very honest. I said if they played Duke 10 times, I think they would win 4. But now that they're past Duke, I think they're winning the national title. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know what to, I had a young man talk to me once, it was a couple months ago, and he asked me about what I thought their peak might be, and I said this team could get to the Final Four, but then Josh Langford went down, and I thought, geez, there's just no way. And all they've done since then is lost Josh Langford. They've lost Kyle Arns, and they got Nick Ward with a wounded wing at this time, and they're playing in the Final Four. I wouldn't put it past these guys. They're just so tough mentally. They're playing so well together that they could tear down the nets come the national game. I think they can do it.
Okay, thinking they can is like saying you believe that women can get pregnant. You either are or you aren't. Do you think they're going to cut the nets down?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I watched. In the games that they played so far, the LSU game, if you can rebound with those guys, you can rebound with anybody. To play defense like they did against Duke and all those sharpshooters, I don't think Texas Tech has those kind of players, and I think they're going to end up probably meeting Virginia in the final game, and I think they got Virginia. I know Virginia couldn't beat Duke, and so there you go. I think we got them.
We're talking to the great coach Chuck Grenier. Just a couple more questions. For you, what was more impressive? Obviously the win, but besides the win, what was more impressive of the Michigan State win over Duke? Xavier Tillman's defense, the turnovers, or the fact they won while getting crushed on the boards? What was more impressive of the three?
No turnovers. The turnover ratio, I think they had 15, we had 7. I think that was the deciding point in the game, and as long as we take care of the ball, we can beat anyone. But that's going to be key, because I know Texas Tech has a real smothering defense, so that's going to be, I think, the thing to watch in this game on Saturday is the turnovers.
Coach, what does it say about this team that once tournament time got here, 2 different freshmen in 2 different games led them to victory? Foster Lawyer did it, and Gabe Brown did it. What does it say about this team? 2 guys that really haven't contributed a lot, able to lead them to victory.
Well, it tells me that the future is going to be bright and that these guys are coming along. And, I can see we've got some good recruits coming next year. We've got these guys that are developing. Kiff here is developing. He'll be able to do I think by next year he'll be able to step out and take a short jumper, baseline jumpers, that sort of thing. I think Gabe Brown is mentally getting into being a contributor at this time. And I also think that Foster Lawyer is learning like we talked about, I think a month ago on this one, he has to learn how to get a shot. And if he watches and studies Winston a lot, he sees how Winston is able to get his shot off. And I think he'll be able to do that too. So it's going to be a lot of talent, and I know this year's not over. I think next year is going to be a banner year with Langford coming back.
We're talking to the great Coach Chuck Grenier. Coach, one last question for me, and then I'm going to get you out of here. Give me a name of somebody that if Michigan State wins and cuts down the net, people are going to be surprised about.
Aaron Henry. And I don't think you're going to be real surprised about him, but I think he's got that deer in the headlight look gone now. The big lights, the bright lights of the big games, I think that's gone. I think he's got this experience that he needs in order to be a major contributor, and I think he's going to show brightly on Saturday.
He's the great Coach Chuck Grenier. Nobody better than him. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Spartan Basketball Final Four edition. Basketball.